The police station was cold. Everything in Korea seemed cold to me now. Buildings, the people, the fluorescent lights that made my skin look gray and washed out. I'd been sitting in this interrogation room for 3 hours. 3 hours of the same questions, the same suspicious looks, the same detective sliding photos across the table like he was dealing cards. Miss Brooks, you understand this is serious. Corporate espionage, if proven, could mean 5 to 10 years in a Korean prison. I understand that. I also understand that I didn't do it. My voice was hoarse from repeating myself. I told you David Chen is my friend. We get coffee. We talk about being homesick. That's it. Mr. Chen works for a company that was recently acquired by Jinsong Corporation, Park Industries' main competitor. I didn't know that. Convenient. The detective leaned back in his chair. These photos show you meeting with him at least twice a week for the past 2 months. Each time, within 24 hours, Park Industries experienced a security breach. I stared at the photos spread across the table. Me and David, laughing over coffee. Me and David walking through the park. Me and David standing outside his office building. From these angles, we looked like co-conspirators. Like criminals. Those are coincidences. Are they? Or did you deliberately cultivate a friendship with Mr. Chen to gain access to information you could sell? That's insane. Why would I risk everything for what? Money? I was making good money at Park Industries. Were you? Our records show you've been sending large portions of your salary to someone named Marcus Brooks in Atlanta. Your brother, who has significant gambling debts. My stomach dropped. How do you know about Marcus? We know everything, Miss Brooks, including the fact that your brother owes money to some very dangerous people. People who might be willing to pay well for corporate secrets. No, Marcus wouldn't. But even as I said it, doubt crept in. Marcus was desperate. He'd forged my signature on loan documents. What else might he have done? The door opened. A woman in her 40s walked in, dressed in an expensive suit that screamed power and money. Her hair was pulled back severely, and her eyes were sharp as knives. I'm attorney Kim Mi-sun. I'm representing Miss Brooks. This interrogation is over. The detective straightened. We're not done. Yes. You are. You've questioned my client for 3 hours without formally charging her. Either charge her now, or she walks. She's a flight risk. She's a woman with no criminal record who's been wrongfully accused. Charge her, or release her. Those are your options. The detective glared but backed down. Don't leave Seoul, Miss Brooks. We'll be in touch. Outside the station, I turned to Attorney Kim. The late afternoon sun was harsh, making my head pound. I can't afford a lawyer. You don't need to. Someone already paid. Your retainer. She handed me a business card. Park Soo-jin, Jin-woo's younger sister. Said her brother was making a terrible mistake and you needed help. Attorney Kim's expression softened slightly. She believes you're innocent. At least someone does. I wrapped my arms around myself. The coffee stain on my blouse had dried into a stiff, uncomfortable reminder of how this day had started. Was that really just this morning? It felt like a lifetime ago. Miss Brooks, we need to talk strategy. But first, you should go home, get cleaned up, and rest. You look exhausted. I can't go home. There are reporters camped outside my building. I saw them on the news. Attorney Kim considered this. Do you have somewhere else you can stay? I thought about calling David. But if he was under investigation too, that would only make things worse. My other friends in Seoul were all connected to the expat community. Word would spread fast, and I couldn't exactly afford a hotel. I'll figure something out. Here. Attorney Kim pulled out her phone and made a call. I need a secure location for a client. Tonight. No, the usual place won't work. There's media attention. A pause. Perfect. Send me the address. She hung up and showed me her phone. A friend of mine owns a small guest house in Busan. It's quiet, private. You can stay there tonight while we figure out next steps. I really can't afford. It's handled. Consider it part of the legal services Soo-jin is paying for. Attorney Kim's tone made it clear she wouldn't accept arguments. Go. Rest. I'll call you in the morning with an update. The guest house was traditional Korean style, tucked away in one of Seoul's historic neighborhoods. The owner, an elderly woman who spoke no English, showed me to a small room with ondol heating and a low table. She brought me tea and rice, gesturing that I should eat. I tried. Got down maybe 3 bites, before my stomach rebelled. Instead, I sat by the window, watching the sun set over the Hanok rooftops, and tried to process everything that had happened. Fired. Accused of corporate espionage, possibly facing prison time in a foreign country. And Jin-woo. God. Jin-woo. The way he'd looked at me when security led me away, like I'd confirmed every terrible thing he'd ever thought about me. My phone buzzed. I'd bought a cheap replacement on the way here, giving the number only to Attorney Kim and Soo-jin. But somehow, Marcus had found it. T, did you send the money yet? These guys are getting impatient. Then I typed back. Marcus, I just got accused of corporate espionage. I was escorted out of my job by security. There were reporters. My face is probably all over the Korean news. I have bigger problems than your gambling debts right now. His response came immediately. What? Are you serious? T. That's bad. That's really bad. But about the money. Turned off my phone. Tomorrow. I deal with Marcus tomorrow. Tonight. I just needed to survive. I must have fallen asleep eventually because I woke to someone knocking on the guest house door. Disoriented, I checked my phone. 2 in the morning. Who would be here at 2 in the morning? The elderly owner was already shuffling toward the door, muttering in Korean. I heard her surprised exclamation, then rapid conversation. Then she was leading someone down the hall toward my room. The door slid open. Park Soo-jin stood there, elegant even in casual clothes, her expression worried. Soo-jin? What are you doing here? Away from my family, away from the company, away from all of it. She slipped inside and closed the door behind her. We need to talk about my brother. I sat up, pulling the blanket around my shoulders. There's nothing to talk about. He made his position clear. He's an idiot. No argument there. Soo-jin actually smiled at that. Then, her expression grew serious. Tiana, I need to tell you something. Something Jin-woo has never told anyone except his best friend Min-jun. Soo-jin, I don't think. 5 years ago, my brother was supposed to get engaged to Hana Shin. It was arranged by our family's business merger, social connections, all the things that matter to people like us. But a week before the engagement party, Jin-woo disappeared. I went very still. Disappeared? He drove to Busan, alone. Wouldn't tell anyone why. Wouldn't answer his phone. My mother was losing her mind. 3 days later, he came back. And he was. Different. Different how? Quieter. But also more determined. He called off the engagement. Told my mother he couldn't marry Hana because he'd met someone. Soo-jin leaned forward. Someone he spent one night with. Someone who changed everything for him. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely breathe. Did he say who? No. He didn't even know her last name. All he knew was her first name and that she was American, traveling through Korea. He's been searching for her ever since. That's... I couldn't finish the sentence. Crazy? Romantic? Obsessive? Soo-jin shrugged. All of the above. But Tiana, you have to understand, my brother has never been allowed to choose anything for himself. Not his education, not his career, not even his friends. Everything has been decided for him since birth. And then he met this woman. And for one night, he got to just be himself. Not the park heir, not the perfect son. Just Jin-woo. Why are you telling me this? Because I've watched my brother for the past 6 months. The way he looks at you when he thinks no one's watching. The way he gets angry every time someone disrespects you. The way he's been absolutely miserable since you started working for him. Soo-jin pulled something from her purse. A sketchbook. He draws her. The woman from Busan. Has for 5 years. Look. She opened the sketchbook, and my breath caught. Page after page of drawings. A woman on a beach. A woman laughing. A woman with long hair blowing in the wind. The woman was me. Or at least, the me from 5 years ago. Oh my God, I whispered. You're her, aren't you? Soo-jin asked gently. You're the woman from Busan. My hands shook as I reached for my bag, pulling out the wooden box. Inside was the bracelet the one Jin had given me that night. Soo-jin gasped. That's my brother's bracelet. He wore it every day until that night. I asked him where it went, and he said he gave it to someone important. His name was Jin. He never told me his full name. We talked all night on the beach, about everything and nothing. And then I had to catch my flight back to the States, and I never saw him again. Tears were running down my face now. I searched for him. For months. But I only knew his first name. There are millions of Jins in Korea. I eventually gave up. And then you took a job as his personal assistant, and he didn't recognize you. I look completely different. I lost weight after my dad died, started wearing glasses, changed my hair, and it's been 5 years. Why would he think the woman from his memory could be me? Soo-jin studied the drawings, then looked at me. He felt something, though. He must have. That's why he's been so horrible to you. He was feeling things he'd only felt once before, for someone else, and it terrified him. That's not an excuse for how he treated me. No, it's not. My brother has been cruel, and he needs to answer for that. Soo-jin closed the sketchbook. But Tiana, you need to know the corporate espionage thing? It's a setup. Hana is behind it. I figured that much out. But you don't know why. Hana has been in love with my brother for years. She agreed to the first arranged engagement gladly. When he called it off, she was devastated. Then, when he agreed to try again, she thought she'd won. Soo-jin's expression darkened. But then you showed up, and my brother started acting strange. Hana noticed. So did my mother. They decided you were a threat. A threat to what? Jin-woo hates me. He doesn't hate you. He's terrified of you. There's a difference. Soo-jin stood. I'm going to help you prove your innocence. I have access to company security footage, email records, all of it. We're going to prove Hana set you up. Why? Why would you risk your relationship with your family for me? Because my brother deserves to be happy. And despite everything, I think you could make him happy. If you can forgive him for being an idiot. She moved toward the door, then paused. Also, because my mother has been controlling our lives for too long. It's time someone stood up to her. After Soo-jin left, I sat with the bracelet in my hands, turning it over and over. 5 years. Jin-woo had been searching for me for 5 years, and I'd been right there, suffering under his coldness, never knowing he was the man I'd been searching for too. I must have dozed off again because the next thing I knew, sunlight was streaming through the window and my phone was ringing. Attorney Kim. Miss Brooks, we have a development. The police pulled security footage from Park Industries. There's video of Hana Shin entering Jin-woo's office late at night and accessing his computer. I sat up fast. What? 3 days before the first alleged security breach. She was there for 47 minutes. We also have footage of her meeting with a known corporate hacker in a parking garage. So she stole my credentials and hired someone to frame me? It looks that way. Detective Han is preparing to issue an arrest warrant for Hana. You're being cleared of all charges. Relief flooded through me so strongly, I felt dizzy. What about David? Also cleared. He had no knowledge of his company's acquisition by Jin-seong. He's been cooperative with the investigation. When will this be made public? Detective Han wants to inform Park Jin-woo first, then they'll hold a press conference. Attorney Kim paused. Miss Brooks, you should know Park Jin-woo has been calling my office every hour since yesterday. He wants to talk to you. Well, I don't want to talk to him. Understandable. But he's quite insistent. And he's also been putting pressure on the police to expedite the investigation. I think he realizes he made a mistake. A mistake? He threw me to the wolves without a second thought. Yes, he did. And you have every right to be angry. But Tiana, I've been practicing law for 20 years. I've seen a lot of powerful men make decisions about people they employ. Most of them wouldn't care. They'd let the investigation play out, protect their company first, ask questions later. Park Jin-woo has been relentless about proving your innocence. He hired a private investigator. He threatened to sue the police department if they didn't move faster. He's been... What? Guilty? Frantic, Attorney Kim corrected. Like a man who realizes he's about to lose something irreplaceable. I didn't want to care. I didn't want Jin-woo's panic to matter to me. But some small, stupid part of me softened anyway. I'm going to Park Industries, I said suddenly. I want to see his face when he finds out I'm innocent. I want him to apologize to me directly. Miss Brooks, that might not be wise. I don't care. I'm done hiding. I'm done being the victim in this story. I stood up, looking down at my rumpled, stained clothes. But first, I need to change. An hour later, I walked into Park Industries, wearing borrowed clothes from Sujin and holding my head high. The security guards who'd escorted me out yesterday now nodded respectfully. Word had spread fast. I took the elevator to the executive floor. My former desk was empty, my belongings in a box beside it. That stung more than I expected. Jin-woo's office door was closed. I could see him through the glass wall. On the phone, his expression tense. Min-jun was with him, along with Detective Han. I knocked once and entered without waiting for permission. Jin-woo looked up, and his face went through several emotions at once. Relief. Guilt. Something that looked almost like pain. Tiana, I'm innocent, I interrupted. As you've apparently just learned. The police have video evidence of Hana stealing my credentials and meeting with a hacker. I've been completely cleared. I know. Detective Han just told me. Jin-woo stood up slowly. Tiana, I'm sorry. You're sorry? You're sorry? I laughed. And it came out harsh. You gave me a check for $50,000 in the morning. By afternoon, you had me escorted out by security and told the police I was a criminal. Which version of you am I supposed to believe, Jin-woo? The one who said we'd start fresh? Or the one who threw me away the second your mother told you to? I was wrong. Yes, you were. You were cruel and suspicious, and you believed the worst of me without even giving me a chance to defend myself. Tears were threatening, but I refused to let them fall. Not here, not in front of him. You know what the worst part is? I actually believed you when you said you saw something in me. When you said I scared you because you couldn't stop thinking about me. I thought maybe, just maybe, you were starting to see me as more than just your assistant. But you don't see me at all. That's not true, isn't it? You've been searching for some perfect woman from your past for 5 years. Some fantasy you built up in your head. And when someone real was standing right in front of you, you couldn't handle it. So you pushed me away. You were cruel. And when given the choice between trusting me and believing your mother, you chose her. Jin-woo moved closer. Tiana, please, let me explain. Explain what? That you're a coward? I already figured that out. I pulled the bracelet from my pocket and held it up. 5 years ago, a man named Jin gave this to me on a beach in Busan. We spent one night talking, and it was the most honest, beautiful conversation I'd ever had. He told me he was running from expectations and family obligations. He told me he felt like he could breathe with me. Jin-woo went completely still, his eyes fixed on the bracelet. I searched for him for months, I continued. I never forgot him. And when I took a job in Seoul, part of me hoped I might find him again. I laughed bitterly. Turns out I did. I found him, and he spent 6 months making me feel small and worthless. He destroyed my confidence, my peace of mind, and almost destroyed my life. All because he was too scared to recognize what was right in front of him. You're her, Jin-woo whispered. You're really her. I was her. That girl who could be herself with a stranger. That girl who believed in magic and second chances. I set the bracelet on his desk. But you killed her. The Jin I met on that beach would never have treated someone the way you treated me. Tiana, please. I quit. For real this time. And I'm leaving Korea. My visa is going to be a problem anyway after all this scandal, so I might as well go home. No, you can't leave. Watch me. I turned toward the door. I love you. The words stopped me cold. I turned back slowly. Jin-woo looked desperate, stripped of all his usual composure. I love you. I've loved you since that night in Busan, even when I didn't know it was you, even when I was pushing you away, especially when I was pushing you away, because I was so scared of how much I felt. That's not love, Jin-woo. That's fear. Then, I'll be braver. I'll be better. Just please don't leave. Don't walk away from this. You walked away from me first. You threw me out of this building in front of reporters. You let your mother and your ex-fiancé destroy me. Why should I give you another chance? Because... He stopped, seeming to realize he had no good answer. Exactly. I headed for the door again. Your brother, Jin-woo said suddenly. Marcus. He's been arrested in Atlanta. I froze. What? Detective Han just told me. Marcus was arrested for assault and attempted robbery. He tried to steal from one of his creditors. It didn't go well. My knees went weak. Jin-woo moved to steady me, but I jerked away. Don't touch me. Tiana, listen. The creditor Marcus tried to rob? His name is Kwon Jae-sung. He's not just a loan shark. He's connected to organized crime, both here and in the US. And he's decided that since Marcus can't pay, you're going to pay instead. What does that mean? Min-jun stepped forward. It means you're in danger. Kwon Jae-sung has people in Atlanta and Seoul. He's going to come after you for that $200,000 Marcus owes. 200,000? Marcus said. It was 50,000. He lied, Detective Han said bluntly. The debt has been growing for months. With interest and penalties, it's now at $200,000. Kwon expects you to pay. I sank into a chair, my legs refusing to hold me up anymore. I don't have $200,000. I don't have anything. We know, Jin-woo said gently. That's why Detective Han is recommending police protection until we can sort this out. For how long? Until we can build a case against Kwon's organization and arrest him. And how long will that take? No one answered. I looked up at Jin-woo. Let me get this straight. I was just cleared of corporate espionage. My brother's in jail. I'm being targeted by organized crime. And you think police protection is going to fix this? I have a better solution, Jin-woo said. Stay with me. At my private residence. I have security, resources, everything you need to stay safe. Absolutely not. Tiana, please be reasonable. Reasonable? You want me to move in with you after everything that's happened? After you didn't even trust me enough to believe I wasn't a spy? I was wrong. I know I was wrong. And I will spend however long it takes making that up to you. But right now, your safety is what matters. My safety mattered yesterday too, but you didn't care about that when you had me escorted out by security. We were both shouting now, years of frustration and pain and misunderstanding exploding between us. Min-jun cleared his throat. Marning. Perhaps we should all take a moment. His words were cut off by the sound of glass shattering. Jin-woo's office window exploded inward, and something small and metallic bounced across the floor. Get down! Detective Han yelled. Jin-woo tackled me to the ground, covering my body with his as smoke filled the room. Alarms blared. People screamed in the hallway. Is it a bomb? Someone shouted. Smoke grenade. Detective Han said, coughing. Everyone out. Now! Jin-woo pulled me to my feet, keeping his body between me and the broken window. We stumbled toward the door, Min-jun and Detective Han flanking us. In the hallway, chaos. Employees running for the stairs, security trying to maintain order, alarms still screaming. This way, Jin-woo said, pulling me toward a private elevator I'd never noticed before. His hand was tight on mine, refusing to let go. The elevator took us down to an underground parking garage. A black car was already waiting, engine running. Jin-woo shoved me inside, following right behind. Drive, he told the driver. The safe house. Jin-woo. What the hell is happening? Kwon Jae-sung just sent a message. He knows where you work, where you live, everything. He's telling us he can get to you whenever he wants. Oh God. I was shaking, adrenaline and fear making my whole body tremble. Oh God. Oh God. You're safe. I've got you. I'm not letting anything happen to you. You don't get to be my hero now. You don't get to... My voice broke. You don't get to save me after you tried to destroy me. I know. I know, but I'm going to do it anyway. Jin-woo's arm was around me, holding me close despite my protests. I'm going to keep you safe, and then I'm going to spend the rest of my life making up for how badly I failed you. I hate you, I whispered against his chest. I know, but please, let me protect you anyway. The car sped through Seoul's streets, taking turns I couldn't track. Eventually, we pulled up to a traditional hanok house, surrounded by high walls. Private, hidden. Where are we? My real home. The penthouse downtown is for appearances. This is where I come when I need to escape everything. He led me inside, and I was struck by how warm it felt. Traditional Korean architecture, mixed with modern comfort. Books everywhere. Art on the walls. A space that felt lived in and loved. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs, Jin-woo said. Take whichever one you want. My security team is already on their way. You're safe here. For how long? As long as it takes. I walked to the window, looking out at a beautiful garden. This morning I'd woken up, cleared of all charges, ready to confront Jin-woo and reclaim my dignity. Now I was in hiding, dependent on the man who'd hurt me, with organized crime threatening my life. I need to call my mom, I said suddenly. If these people know about Marcus, they might go after her too. Already done. Detective Han has police watching your parents' house in Atlanta. They're safe. What about Marcus? He's in custody. That's the safest place for him right now. I turned to face Jin-woo. He looked exhausted, his perfect hair messed up from the chaos, his shirt torn at the shoulder. Why are you doing this? I asked. Really? Is it guilt? Obligation? Or is it because you finally figured out I'm your mystery woman from Busan? Jin-woo moved closer but didn't touch me. All of the above, but mostly because I can't lose you again. I lost you once for 5 years. I'm not making that mistake twice. Lose me. You pushed me away. I know, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. But Tiana, please, believe me, I was scared. Scared of feeling so much for someone I couldn't have. Scared of wanting you when I was supposed to be honoring the memory of someone else. Scared that if I let myself care about you, it would destroy me when you inevitably left. So you destroyed me instead? Yes, and I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. We stood there in the fading afternoon light, years of searching and months of suffering hanging between us. I need time, I finally said. Time to process all of this. Time to figure out if I can forgive you. Time to deal with my brother and these loan sharks and everything else that's falling apart. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. I opened it, and my blood turned to ice. It was a photo of my parents' house in Atlanta. The message read, "Your brother's debt is now your debt. You have 48 hours. We know where everyone you love lives." Jin-woo read over my shoulder, his expression hardening. "Forward that to Detective Han immediately. I'm also sending security to Atlanta tonight." Jin-woo? You can't, these people are dangerous. So am I when someone threatens what's mine. I'm not yours. No. But I'm going to protect you anyway. Whether you forgive me or not, I'm not letting anyone hurt you. Another message appeared. This one was different. It wasn't from Kwon Jae-sung. "The debt is cleared. Your brother is free. Consider it a wedding gift. We'll be in touch. A friend." I stared at the screen, confused. What the hell does that mean? Wedding gift? Jin-woo took my phone, reading the message carefully. Min-jun had followed us to the safe house, and he looked over Jin-woo's shoulder. "Someone just paid off Marcus's debt," Min-jun said slowly. "Someone with significant resources." "Your mother?" I guessed. My mother would never help Marcus. Jin-woo scrolled through the message again. "This is someone else. Someone who knows about us." A third message appeared. "You're the Montgomery family's lost daughter. Tiana. Time to come home." The phone slipped from my fingers. Jin-woo caught it before it hit the ground. "Montgomery family?" I whispered. "What does that mean?" Jin-woo and Min-jun exchanged shocked looks. "The Montgomery family," Min-jun said carefully, "is one of the most powerful families in America. Old money, massive influence. They have connections to every major industry." "Okay, but what does that have to do with me?" "Their youngest daughter was kidnapped nearly 30 years ago. Taken from their home as a baby. They've been searching for her ever since." My head was spinning. "That's impossible. I can't be." Another message. "DNA doesn't lie. Welcome home, little sister. Victoria Montgomery." I looked at Jin-woo, then at the phone, then back at Jin-woo. This has to be a mistake. Some kind of scam. "Maybe," Jin-woo said. But he didn't sound convinced. "I need to sit down." My legs were giving out again. Jin-woo caught me, guiding me to a couch. "We'll figure this out," he promised. "DNA tests, investigations, whatever it takes. But Tiana, if this is real, then nothing I thought I knew about myself is true. My parents, my identity, my entire life, it would all be a lie. Not a lie, just incomplete." I looked up at him. "Do you really think I could be this missing Montgomery daughter?" "I don't know, but we're going to find out." My phone rang. A number with a Boston area code. With shaking hands, I answered. "Hello? Tiana? My name is Victoria Montgomery. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I believe you're my sister, my baby sister, who was taken from us 30 years ago, and I'd really like the chance to explain everything. Would you be willing to meet?" I looked at Jin-woo. He nodded, giving me silent support. "Yes," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, I'll meet you." After I hung up, Jin-woo pulled me into his arms. This time, I didn't pull away. I just held on, trying to anchor myself as my entire world shifted beneath me. "What's happening to me?" I whispered. "I don't know. But whatever it is, we'll face it together, if you'll let me." I didn't answer. Couldn't answer, because yesterday I was just Tiana Brooks, a PA from Atlanta trying to survive in Seoul. Today, I'd been accused of espionage, cleared of charges, threatened by organized crime, and told I might be a missing heiress. And the man holding me? He was the cold boss who'd made my life miserable, the mystery from my past I'd been searching for, and possibly the only person who could help me make sense of any of this. My life had become a drama I couldn't have written if I tried, and somehow, I knew this was just the beginning. And that's it for episode 2. What do you think is going to happen next? Is Tiana really the Montgomery family's missing daughter? Can she forgive Jin-woo for how he treated her? And what about these loan sharks and Kwon Jae-sung? Are they really gone? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. Episode 3 is going to blow your mind. See you in the next one.